I have been talking to young people, and from my side, I want to understand them. They also want to understand me, because I look at the life during the time when we were young, and I compare it with when young people are young. I try to compare the two, and there are some things which change, some which are still maintained, but it is quite different from how it was during my time. I hear a lot of young men complaining that they spend their airtime, they spend their fare, and even take girls to hotels, and things happen that way. I would advise any girl, because at my age now, I am a senior father and a junior grandfather. My granddaughters, well, in a few years from now, they'll start dating. So I'm talking as a senior father and a junior grandfather. And if you want a platonic relationship, please make the male understand it is platonic. Don't give him a lot of hope when you in the first place just want to enjoy. Nataka tu kumuenjoy. Please don't. It is morally bad, and it is whatever, and it even leads to instances that are regrettable to you and even to your family. If your relationship is platonic, let him know from the word go it's platonic. If your relationship is not serious, don't accept anything from him. During our time, our parents, but my father was learned. My father was an OCS the year I was born. So, people of that age, you'd find that they didn't understand English, and that is why Sheng was started. So you could hear situations where a boy goes to the home of a girl and tells the girl, nilikuwa nimetumwa. Nilikuwa nataka kujua kama uko na ile kitabu inaitwa I Want to See You. The girl would answer, hiyo nafikiri niliacha shuleni, but if you I think I have that book which says wait for me at the gate. Nafikiri niko na hiyo kitabu inaitwa wait for me at the gate, I'm coming. So the boy would leave and say, hata hiyo sita, yani nimeelewa lakini wacha tu niende. Then he goes and waits for the gate. And so those days, and even today, houses had toilets outside, so the girl would excuse herself to go to the toilet while she went to meet the boy at the gate. That is what used to happen. That is what used to happen. But nowadays, if you say that, the father will say, by the way, I have another book which is very good, which says, I have a club in my bedroom, and in the next 5 minutes, I think I want to kill somebody. I would want to advise girls that if the interest is not there, kindly don't encourage the man. I also want to say, before I tell you how my fare was eaten, mine was eaten between November 85 and February 86. Those days, I was in a hotel at home, and I was shocked with the kind of menu that was there. If I take a recording of a hotel in my home area, you would think that it is somewhere along River Road in Nairobi. It had all the types of food. During my time, the menu used to be ugali na kuku, chai na mandazi. As for chapatis, chapatis used to be for rich people. I even remember when I was young, somebody asked me once that he hears that somebody can go to a hotel and order ugali and greens. I said, what's wrong? He said, I wish I'd talked it in vernacular, you'd really laugh. Yani nikatae kupika ugali nyumbani na nini, naenda kwa hoteli nipikie ugali. Hoteli ni ya ugali na kuku na michele. Yeah, I had forgotten about rice. Na michele. Hoteli sio pali utaenda ukule ugali na mboga. So that is how hotels were in those days. I do remember, I have a cousin. They were born, is it 9? They were born very many. But there are 2. The elder brother, he's the younger brother. There were 2 brothers and about 7 sisters. The elder brother is 7 years older than the younger brother. So you see, him being the second last born, boys would come to visit. I don't know whether you have seen that. If you have a younger sister, she'll never tell you about her dating. But if you are an elder sister, especially if you are born with many girls, almost all of them girls, they just introduce you to their boyfriends with no care. So this Didymus could go to the trading center with his sisters, who are also my cousins, and they would eat a lot of chai and mandazis, and he would be told, don't tell our mom. The father was a polygamist. Don't tell our mom that we were meeting boys. You hear him. So when they go home, when food was being prepared, he'd say, "Ay, nimeshiba." Then the mother would ask, "Why? And we have not eaten." When he's about to speak, then now. But women have a 7th sense that tells them and his sisters that they would be beaten by my aunt. We also had a classmate who admired my cousin, and me and an area mate called Isaac Mswahili. Yeah, Mswahili is his real name. Isaac Mswahili and me, we used to enjoy this fellow. He's from Moranga, a place called Gikoe. I want to mention him. There is that cousin of mine, her mother and my mother were sisters. They've even sang about her. Sicily, yeah, mama. Sicily, monamu. That Sicily, her mother and my mother were, my mother followed her mother. So I used to walk around with her picture, and we would tell Faris to write love letters for her. We would take it to another girl who used to stay in Mudurwa. She writes that letter and answer, then says, can you give my cousin 20 shillings or 10 shillings? And huyu jamaa alikuwa anatoboka. I hear he's a businessman in Gikoe. So that is how dating was during our school time. Now I want to finish off by telling you how my fare, you complained that fare yangu imekuliwa. Yangu ilikuliwa by a lady who was committing incest. Now this is what happened. I grew up with the brothers in Nairobi. The family had, you see, Nairobi houses were, most of them, 90% of people used to stay in Nairobi in the 70s and 60s, used to stay in a single room. So you find that most cases, the girls grew up at home with their mother, and the boys grew up in Nairobi with their father who was working. So one time when I was visiting my friends, I saw the sister, and then I got interested. And that is a challenge, because if things go bad, you and your friends, the relationship goes south. And the fellow even starts thinking that you befriended him in the first place because you had another idea. So you have to be very careful. I declared I wanted to get married to her, and she was hesitant. She used to be hesitant. Now here is the story. I would come at home over the weekend, tell her, can we now go back to Kapengure? She would say no. And she had a first cousin who was in Kapengure. So she would say, Kapengure, unashuka hapo Kenyatta Yeah, she had crammed that place. Unashuka Kenyatta cell, unaenda hivi police station, koti iko hapo, sijui nini. I'll just come back on Wednesday. I'll follow you on Wednesday. So I would give her the fare. I would give her the fare. And you see, giving a fare to somebody in a place where she's new or anything, you must give twice. So the fare from Webuye all the way to Kapenguri and back. That is in case she gets lost or anything, she can come back. And every weekend I would come back. Oh, see you. Men were created different. A woman gives you an unreasonable excuse and you're the first one to, don't worry, kuna pesa zingine. But it also affected me professionally. I was at Takwel Gorge. Yes, I'm one of the people who signed for Takwel Gorge to be there. But I had talked to my bosses saying that I'm expecting somebody. So I was not taken to that place and I had to hang around Kapenguria for about 2 to 3 months. Every weekend I would go home, leave the fare there. Every weekend I would go home, and you see, I'm not leaving the fare for double. That was 4 times because I would go there, then I would come back, that is 2. Then I would leave her with the fare for 2 because I was saying, in case you get lost anyway, you can still come back. It's funny that she later conceived, and I have a very troublesome son. But legally is my son. We have not taken any DNA, and he uses my name, and legally is that I cannot divorce the boy. Even if today we were to take DNA, and it proves that he's not my son, it would be that from 1986 to today, you cannot just stand up and say that kid is not yours. But what happened, and especially Kiganjo, boys who have been to boys' schools, especially boarding schools, because I was in a day school in my O levels, and in my Form 5, Form 6 advanced level, I was in boarding school. We used to be told that men, you bring up other men's sons while other men are bringing up your sons. But the problem with this case is there is an element of incest in it. There is an element of incest. So when she became pregnant, she saw that I'm not related, so she came with the kid when the kid was 2 to 3 months heavy. But once the kid was born, somebody came up. Hey, I'm the father. So you didn't. People say, but you come from the same clan. You see, you come from the same clan, and it is considered incest. He said, I don't care. That is my blood. And the man, even today, still insists the boy is his. Hey, I'm not talking about incest. I'm only talking about kukuliwa fair. So for 3 months, in fact, this lady, if she would not have conceived, I don't know how long that kukuliwa fair ilikuwa. I would, and you see, my colleagues and my boss used to tell me, they used to advise me. They used to advise me. The problem here was one. She's the youngest. You know, there are those kids who are young, especially nowadays, you reach a certain age and realize we don't need another kid. But previously, you could find that your last born, through the same woman, you'd find that your last born is the same age with your eldest grandchild. For example, if your eldest child was a girl, you'll find that by the time she gets married and gets a kid, your last born will be the same age with your grandchild. So I was being told that last born leaving her parents, you'll struggle. The only thing we can do is we can allow you ukae hapa Kapenguria bila kufanya kazi, but just try. You just try. We cannot discourage you. But what she used to do is that, you see, it is the same family, shared grandfather. So every time, imagine a girl of 20 years and the father is over 60 or something. So, and those days there was no electricity at home. So after supper at around 8 or 9, the couple is sleeping, wanangorota, and then she sleeps and goes. She walks out and goes to a nearest cousin and spend the night there. So, but I'm not talking about incest. I'm talking of how fare yangu ilikuliwa. You see, for those people I've talked to who have had incestuous relationship, they say that the fact that it is, what do you call it? It is illegal, it is immoral, it is whatever. It brings the love so strong that the girl was imagining that the girl was imagining that if I get married, I will not have chance to go to go to sleep with my cousin. Baba na baba ni ndugu. So you can see how it is. And you see, if a girl is seen, your stepbrother's daughter and your son, if they are seen, nobody would expect anything. And that is, I think I'm placing there the incest aspect of it is that it must have played a big role in her reluctance to, and it may have led her to kukula fare yangu. So fare zinakuliwa, and the kids you are giving birth today watakula ama watakuliwa fare. Thank you.